Hey, Jackson here. I just got a Series X off of Amazon. Let's go check it out. This isn't an Xbox. This is just a normal box with an X scribbled on it. Darn it, I got ripped off again. Rip-offs, one of the most well-known things out there. Whether they're cheaper versions of an already existing product, or a completely new piece of media made to cash in on the brand name. They have a special place in my heart. I mean, how could you not love this? Today I wanted to cover bootleg games, but not just any bootleg. The one we're covering today is actually quite infamous. You see, I like Sonic, but I also like Mario. So what if there was a game where Sonic and Mario just... I take back what I said. Somari is a video game created by Hummer Team, an NES homebrew developer in the early 90s, and was popular in Asian markets. The game is a demake of the original Sonic the Hedgehog on the NES, but with a twist. Instead of playing with Sonic, you play as Somari, which is just Mario with Tails' shoes. The game is one of the more well-known bootleg games, and has become infamous for just how weird it is, which is why I'm gonna play it. The game starts in Green Hill Zone, just as in the original, although the layout has been completely redone. It's unique to this game. So, how's my first impressions of Somari? Not good. It's too easy to die. There are way too many enemies. It feels like you're going to be attacked at any moment. Remember these bee guys from Sonic 1? Well, they're your worst enemy in this game. They give you absolutely no time to breathe. There's also these spike pits that you can't get out of unless you restart the game. Come on. Level hazards aside though, how does Somari feel to play? Terribly. He is way too slow or way too fast. There's no in between. His jump also causes you to lose any speed you had. Not like you were gonna go that fast anyway, since this game has too many enemies. Somari also has the spin dash in this game, which is interesting because the spin dash wasn't in Sonic 1. But just like the game so far, it isn't good. It doesn't speed you up at all. In fact, I'd say that it's slower than walking normally. You also can't move after releasing a spin dash, so if you go straight towards an enemy with no rings, prepare to die. And there is so much other weird stuff I can say about this game's physics that I just can't say, because this video would be 10 hours long if I did. I eventually make it to the first boss fight against Robotnik, but instead of avoiding a wrecking ball, we are avoiding whatever this is. Like I said earlier, jumping kills almost any speed you have, so that makes this boss, which was piss easy in the original, way too hard in this game. I'm able to push through though and make it to Marble Zone, and holy hell, this is worse than Green Hill. Everything that was wrong with that zone is multiplied here. Not much else to say, I just hated this zone. The boss fight is also very difficult. It's the same as the one in Sonic 1, but since jumping kills our momentum, you're barely able to make it to the next platform. They also added this fireball in between them. Do you hate me, Hummer Team? Next is Spring Yard Zone, and in typical Somari fashion, they somehow find a way to make themselves even worse. Unlike the previous zones, which completely redid the level layouts, Spring Yard pretty much completely reuses the layout from the original, and since Somari's physics aren't like Sonic 1's, to put it into the nicest terms, it makes playing this stage a nightmare. Thankfully, the boss fight isn't super hard. It's about as difficult as the original. This game's driving me nuts. I hope that it improves. If you think this game is gonna improve, you have already lost it. Surprisingly, it does. Labyrinth Zone is next. It's not very good, but it's an improvement over the game so far. There's far less annoying enemies to deal with, and outside of a few jumps that are almost impossible to make, it's a lot easier. They even improved the boss fight in this zone from the original. The tunnel we go up is far less deadly, albeit way more unpolished. I went past the auto-scroller before it was even finished, and ended up soft-locking myself by accident. Next is Starlight Zone. The annoying enemies are back, and it's also pretty easy to get lost at times, but it's an improvement over the last zone. Not in the boss department though. Since it might have been hard to recreate Starlight's boss on the NES, we get a completely new fight instead. Robotnik launches some lasers at us, then rushes at us and shoots some more lasers, and we're supposed to hit him when that time comes. This boss sucks because... just look at it. It's way too easy to get hit with this game's terrible controls, and it's overall just not very fun. After he's defeated, it's time to move on to Final Zone. That's right, we are skipping past Scrap Brain Zone, which is a godsend. After seeing how bad Labyrinth was in this game, I don't even want to imagine what Scrap Brain Act 3 would be like in this game. This is probably the best part of the game. I mean, the boss fight's so simple, how could you screw it up? I defeat him and Somari gets stuck. Huh. I'll just fast forward a little farther to see what happens next. Yeah, screw this game. And that's Somari. It is absolutely terrible, but I gotta give some praise to the team behind it. A lot of bootleg games like this are super low effort. They usually just take an existing game, change some of the assets, and call it a day. But Hummer Team went through the effort of remaking almost an entire game on weaker hardware. The result might have been absolutely terrible, but I can respect the effort that must have gone into this, which is something I can't say for a lot of other bootleg games. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did I play this game if it's so... terrible? Well, first of all, just pure curiosity, I did not expect it to be this bad. But also, I thought it'd be a nice segue into the next video. From talking about Sonic to talking about... Man, I can't see shit on the screen.